This is the Montana Outdoor Podcast, brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer in Missoula, home of Boss Snowplows, CEM Truck Beds, and Diamond Sea Trailers. Just go to rmtte.com for more information. And by Superior Hardwoods of Montana, home of the largest selection of in-stock high-end wood products and flooring in the western United States. Let them guide you through the woods at superior-hardwoods.com. Now, get ready for more fascinating topics and the most interesting people you will ever find in Montana's great outdoors. We offer new podcasts most every Saturday. You can get a link to these podcasts by going to our website, montanooutdoor.com, or by going to our Facebook page, or just send an email to Downrigger at montanooutdoor.com and say send a link to my email. It's that simple. Now let's head out with your host, Downrigger Dale, and see what's going on in Montana's great outdoors.
Thank you very much, Manny, and I am Downrigger Dale of the Montana Outdoor Podcast, and of course, a lot of you are on with us that listen regularly on the Montana Outdoor Radio Show. I want to thank all of you for listening on such a regular basis. You guys have really exploded this podcast, and we just can't thank you enough. I've got an interesting podcast for you today. You know, I talk a lot about, of course, what's going on in the outdoors. We don't get into business a lot. However, this one I really wanted to get on because if you guys were listening a while back, I had Montana Governor Greg Gianforte on the show. And he talked a bit about a company by the name of Brixtel Defense, and that they are doing a big deal in Glendive, Montana. And I know the governor, I'm sure those of you who are listening heard how excited he is about it. I know that some of you that have heard a little about this are very excited. I know I am because, one, we love to see Montana grow, but we also love it when it grows in supporting the outdoors and what all we do. So without further ado, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. Andy Mansoor, CEO of Brixtel, is with us. Andy, tell me a bit about the Brixtel Defense and talk a bit about what you do for the company.
Sure. Brixtel Defense is basically was created for the purpose of getting into ammunition manufacturing to support the defense industrial base and the federal government. So we are starting out with small and medium-sized, caliber ammunition, and our plans are actually to go into medium caliber and larger caliber ammunition to expand some of the industrial base as a contractor-owned, contractor-operated facility, and that goes into some of the larger expansion that we have planned for Montana.
Well, at the beginning of the show here, I talked a bit about how excited Governor Gianforte was, and that you guys chose to expand into Glendive, Montana. Talk a little bit about why you chose Glendive, and what other states did you look at prior to making your decision to do this big expansion into Glendive?
Sure. So I wouldn't want to. We did look at a few other states. I wouldn't want to take the names for the states that we considered.
Sure.
However, Montana was very promising, and and as we've heard, the Governor Gianforte, numerous times kind of mentioned Montana is home to over 150 innovative firearm and ammunition businesses, and the highest per capita in the nation, and that in itself, being close to some of those other businesses that we complement each other, made it a good choice. Glendive and Dawson County as a community has been very open and welcoming to us being there, and we're very happy to be there. We're very excited to be there, and we've had very, in terms of people supporting us from that community and the surrounding communities, not just within Glendive itself, from Sydney, from Miles City. We've had a lot of support from businesses there and people there that are looking to either work with us, come work at the facility, or be part of that expansion.
Mm-hmm. And we also have on the phone with us from Brixtel, Jimmy Slaughter and Jim McCoy, and we're going to get with them in a minute. But if you guys, want to add to something, you're more than happy to, jump right in there if you have something to add. But what has been going on since there was a ribbon cutting ceremony the governor talked about when I had him on? Tell us a little bit about the facility, Andy, and what you guys have been up to since the ribbon cutting.
I'm not trying to pass the ball, but I think Jimmy would. Do you want to jump in? And he's very excited on
Sure.
some of the things that are going on there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we have met some of the most fantastic people there. To lead into Glendive, we had a workshop there, and since the ribbon cutting, and we had 65 applications in a 2-hour showing.
Wow.
Which is outstanding. That's just speaks volumes for what the governor, had already told us, that your rural workforce is a great workforce. We have been, our machines are coming in and going to be set up. And on the 12th of February, we just attended SHOT Show. We've been picking up components and parts, pieces. And yesterday we started, Andy and I worked all day on interviews. We've some fantastic people that are interested in coming to workforce. So we've been really busy.
Well, Jimmy, talk a bit about how many people are you going to employ there in Glendive?
Well, it's going to start right now with one shift, and that will probably be 3 to 4 people per shift. And then that will expand over into 3 shifts that we hope to run on 24 hours a day, run 3 shifts, and gradually move that into 7 days a week. Now, the shift size, according to will be according to the orders
right.
that we begin to pick up. I mean, as we expand, probably we'll look at that one building probably somewhere around 25 to 45 people in just that one building.
Uh-huh. And
Now,
then
the second facility.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, now the second facility is quite a bit of an expansion. And, at the end, the total, we're probably going to be somewhere around 300 to 350 people.
Wow. Now that's a lot of people, especially for the small town of Glendive. What's kind of the time frame of getting from, and I realize you guys got to, build out facility and all that, but from now until that 3 to 350, about how long will it take you to grow into that?
So I think our plans are currently we're kind of looking at acquiring land and putting that facility in place. I think we're looking at about build out and everything else for what we're looking to build out for is about 18 to 24 months.
Oh.
So that's where that will kind of that ramp up will happen. And I think initially we're at about a target of about 45 to 65 people probably on the higher side, and the 350 is on the low side. We probably might from where things are going long term, we probably would be at a higher number. And of course, it's also pulling from the local from the adjoining counties. And we're also open to bringing people into Montana. It's not a hard state to sell, I'll tell you that.
No, it's especially if you love the outdoors. It's a wonderful place to live. And James
McCoy is an active hunter, and he can tell you stories about all day about his experiences there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys picked a great spot if you love the outdoors. And you kind of alluded to it, but both of you did, that you picked a great spot in that the people of Montana, I'm born and raised here, but they're a hard-working bunch that just absolutely loves to get the job done, and then they love to get out in the outdoors and play too. So I think you couldn't have picked a better state to have a dedicated workforce that has got good skills and good things going there. So for our podcast listeners out there that may be hearing this and saying, "Hey, that kind of sounds like a great opportunity." Could one of you talk a bit about what kind of positions you're wanting to fill and what that looks like? And if you're able to, maybe talk a little bit about how much a person might be able to make working for Brixtel Defense?
I think,
Andy, do you want?
I can start. I can start out, and then I'll open it up to Jimmy and Jim here. Basically, we're looking for anywhere from machine operators, people that are familiar with ammunition, handling ammunition, loading ammunition. There's a lot of people that actually in Montana are actually loaders that
you
have
bet.
or are hunters and that have that familiarity. So it's not hard to find, and then the work ethics, it's just So we're looking for that. Those are some of the positions, and we've got shipping and receiving. We've got back office administrative opportunities from HR to bookkeeping, accounting. So there's variation of jobs that we would be looking for to bring in. And I'm missing out on a lot. Forklift operators and
Sure. Yeah.
So absolutely, there'd be a it's a full service operation. They'll just be there, manufacturing operation. And so there'll be a lot of manufacturing related jobs. I'll kind of turn it off to Jimmy and Jim to add on to it.
There are going to be quite a variance of jobs, and we're going to offer training on those jobs, the incentives, and we're going to work. Everybody's going to work as a team for that, and have a purpose to work for. The biggest thing that we have that we work toward is working for the DoD, contracts for the DoD to support our soldiers and their needs. Our law enforcement, we're going to work right there hand in hand. Matter of fact, we're going to help with practice and demo ammo there for the local police departments and sheriff's office.
That's fantastic.
There are a lot of synergies here.
Yeah. Now, what? Go ahead, James. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, I was just saying, as far as employment, on my end of it, my part is, my background comes from being in the hunting, shooting, ammunition industry for over 20 years, doing sales and marketing and securing, federal and state contracts for different products. So I'm kind of looking at, putting a sales team together, or, folks to represent the company out in the field, which some of those we're close to securing, but there'll be some other opportunities there, I'm sure, if you will, outside sales, especially as the company grows and we move into other markets.
So those are some great opportunities there. What will you guys be manufacturing there, if you're allowed to say? What will be the main things you'll be making?
Well, the Glendive, the first Glendive office that we're opening right now, will basic manufacturing will be bullets.
Okay.
Anything from small cal pistols up through, and we can manufacture up to 50 cal.
Oh wow. Okay. So and those are the what, the casings, the primers, the whole thing then?
No, sir. It'll just be the primers. Our components will be purchased, and then we will put the components together at the factory. We won't be making. Now the new build-out, the next facility will be a self-contained. That The intention is that we will manufacture and load every component that goes or that makes up the composite of a bullet, with the exception of the powder.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, I understand that you will also be utilizing some of the components that are made from a manufacturer in the Bitterroot Valley. Is that correct?
So we're using machines out of that are actually manufactured right in Montana. Some of the machines that we're using at the plant are actually manufactured by them. We also are in conversations with some of the other businesses to see if there's other components that we could use from them, and then others that we're actually providing to and expanding on to saying, hey, if we've got ammunition and they're selling firearms, that they could use and combine our ammunition along with their firearm sales and expand, into their customer base to be able to, for that extra revenue and stuff. So we are looking for those strategic partnerships. We have some in play, and again, vice versa. We want to give business to other Montanan businesses, as well as be a part and a resource for them to be able to offer some of our product to their customers.
Wow. See, this is what really gets me excited, and I'm sure a lot of our podcast listeners, is it goes just beyond what you guys are doing, and that there's some opportunities for a lot of the other great companies that do exist in Montana. And we're going to take just a quick break here, and when we come back, I want to ask you, Andy, or any of the three of you, about what you feel the economic impact is going to be on the Glendive area and going, stretching further than that. So we'll talk about that when we come back right after this. I know our regular listeners to this podcast have heard me talk about Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer, but for those of you that are new here, let me start with the basics about Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. They are your locally owned Boss Snowplow, CM Truck Bed, and Diamond C Trailer dealer. They offer a wide variety of auto, truck, and trailer accessories and specialize in sales and service of trailers. Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer is conveniently located at 5680 Expressway in Missoula, Montana. Now, let's get into the stuff that truly makes them special and why they are the ones we recommend if you ever need a new trailer, a snowplow, or just need service and or advice. Let me give you an example. They carry the best snowplows on the planet. That's Boss Snowplows. So that way, when you get sick of just getting by with what you have or sick of spending a fortune to have someone else plow you out, you can come tell the folks at Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer about what and where you need to remove snow, and they will help you find the perfect Boss snowplow to get the job done right now and likely for the rest of your life. I'm going to tell you something about these Boss snowplows that just amazes me, but I truly hear about it all the time once someone I know buys one. They always say something to the effect of, Rigger, I never thought I'd say this, and I know it sounds crazy, but I actually have fun plowing snow with my Boss snowplow. And crazier yet, I like it so much I actually look for places near me that need plowing and ask property owners if I can plow it for them. Gang, I'm not exaggerating. That is the Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer difference. They carry the equipment that not only is perfect for you, it actually becomes part of you. So, gang, don't end up hoping you get the right snowplow, trailer, or truck bed. Just go to rmtte.com. Look at what they have, then call them at 406-549-4243. Get all your questions answered, and then go have fun this winter. Thanks to Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. Go see them, rmtte.com. That's Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer. We are back here on the Montana Outdoor Podcast. I'm talking with three gentlemen that have brought some great news to the state of Montana, and that is Andy Mansoor. He is with Brixtel Defense, along with Jimmy Slaughter and Jim McCoy. And we're talking about this new facility that is expanding into Glendive and is going to be manufacturing, the bullets and different calibers. So those of you that may have caught us here in a little bit, you probably heard a lot of what we were talking about. But let's talk a bit about this economic impact. Andy, you had brought up that you guys will be doing, I don't know if outsourcing is the right word, but, getting machines from some of the companies around Montana, possibly other partnerships with other companies. What do you feel, when you really get up and going and your workforce is up to that, say, 300, 350, what do you suppose the economic impact would be? Have you guys looked into that or talked to any of the people involved in the economy around the Glendive area?
We've had some great conversations with the local economic development folks over in Dawson County, the mayor, and some of the things that it'll stimulate the local economy in various ways. Where we would probably need daycares for people that are opportunities for additional coffee shops, restaurants.
Yeah,
there's the economic impact in that area, housing. It's going to be be seen and felt, and there'll be a lot of other opportunities, and I could kind of pass it on to Jim and Jimmy to add on to it.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. You want to fill in some of that?
Well, I think that the opportunities are going to not only just be for Brixtel and some of them that are there local that we have discussed there. Anytime you move up, as that moves along to that many people, it affects the grocery industry. It affects the housing industry, the utilities industry. It affects all of those, into a growth there, because there has to be housing. Sure, not everybody, there would live there. Some may move in, or some may want to move or be closer to where that facility is.
Right.
So you're talking across the whole spectrum.
They'll also want to add here is we have had people apply. These are current serving, military people that are actually, almost getting close to the end of their, active duty, that are actually looking to say, hey, is there an opportunity for us to come back and work with you guys? Mm-hmm. And we welcome that. So we've actually had some great conversations with some of the people that are actually active duty currently, that are, finishing up their, assignments and stuff, and they're actually saying, hey, we want to come back to Montana. Well, and we actually welcome those being in that same industry. So.
I was just going to mention that, Andy. This podcast has a lot of active duty listeners that, are stationed. I know we have some regular listeners over in Germany, some over in some of the areas that end in Stan, and that listen on a regular basis to this podcast, because it brings them a little taste of home and that. So I'm sure we're perking up a lot of ears there, that of people that, like you say, are getting ready to cycle out of the military and move on back to Montana. So while we're on that discussion, what's the best way if somebody says, hey, I think I've got some skills that could add to what these guys are doing? How do they get in touch with you guys to submit a resume or any of that? Jimmy, what would you recommend they do?
Well, contact the Glendive Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
They have there at they have all of our contact information, all of our emails, phone numbers. And Andy, I think if I'm correct, didn't they put up a link on that on the internet also?
So they have. So the local job services is for people that don't have resumes and stuff. They're actually helping them with getting an application over to us, and So the other way is they can send an email to career@brixteldefense.com.
Okay.
And or they can call the number. Between myself, Jim, and Jimmy, I can vouch for this. We are very accessible, and we are actually only a phone call away. So if they call us, we want to talk to people and be able to help answer whatever questions they might have. So best way is to reach out to us, send their email their resume, and then other is feel free to give us a call. Happy to talk to them. We are also on site, so we want to be able to make sure that we are accessible, and so people that are interested, and happy to talk to them.
Well, for those of you listening, when you found this podcast, you saw, before you clicked to listen, you saw the podcast description. If you look down below there, I'm going to put the link to the chamber on there. I'll put the other links for information, as well as that email address that Andy just gave. I'm going to put that link there, so you just click on it. It'll automatically open up your email browser, and then you can write your email and attach your resume. So I'm going to have all that there for you. So you don't have to worry about taking notes right now. It's all going to be down there for you, and we'll get the proper phone numbers and all that for you. So this would be a great opportunity for you to learn more about it and then get involved, because obviously we want to support a company that's moving in, that wants to support Montana, and we want to have all that there. So that's a perfect example of it. Now, on the products that you guys, well, let me back up a little first. First, on the Jim McCoy, on the sales side of it, who are some of the people, like if somebody said, hey, I want to come and get involved in the sales force, and that, who would be some of the companies or people they would be calling on? Is it all going to be defense, or are there other ways they'll be involved in presenting what you guys do?
Well, starting out, the main thing will be pretty much on the defense side, and federal and state contracts. But down the road, as the build out and we grow and expand, I think the plan is still to, Andy, give you a little more confirmation on that. But we do plan to get into, I think, into the retail market also.
Okay.
As long as, of course, we'll try to meet the demands of whatever contracts we secure. That'll come first, obviously. And then after that, if we can continue to produce, if we can produce enough product or overruns to, get some product into the retail world, we would do that also. So, and I think that is very realistic to be able to cover, both defense side or government side and the retail world.
Okay. And as far as the different types of people that Brixtel's wanting to find, are you guys talking, do you need high school diplomas, college? Give us kind of a rundown of some of the requirements that you're trying to seek right now.
Well, right now, obviously, we're open. For what we're going to do, we're going to do a lot of our own training.
Okay.
And I can honestly tell you that living in a rural area myself, everything is not always bound by a college diploma.
Right.
Hardworking people on ranches and farms and everywhere else have been the backbone of this country since this country started. And for us, Brixtel supports that. It's the person. It's their willingness to work, their willingness to be a team member, their willingness to learn, what we have to teach them. So there are no stipulations as far as, your education. Of course, the better, chances are you have to move into maybe some of the, office management positions or those things.
Sure.
But there are no stipulations. A person can learn and a person can do.
That is fantastic news. So it really is open up to all of you, and so I encourage you to go to those links, those of you listening, and click on them, learn more, and get involved, because we absolutely love these kind of things moving into our state. How long has Brixtel been in business? Have you guys been in the defense contracting side for a long time?
So Brixtel was started back in 2005. We have been in the federal contracting space since we started off in commercial, supporting commercial customers, and in 2008, when the economy downturned, kind of got into federal, and supporting federal contracts. And then ever since then, it's just been, great. We kind of shifted our focus to being being federal contractor. So we bring that, federal contracting experience into the reason for creating Brixtel Defense was kind of separating out the manufacturing, separating out the ammunition portion, and so as an entity, we're not new to business. As an entity, we're not new to understanding what that defense space or what the government contracting requirements are, and being familiar with the FARs and stuff. So this is just a newer operation, just based off of the fact of getting into manufacturing, creating those manufacturing jobs, which goes into that's what got our country to where it is,
right?
And being able to support our military and our warfighters out, so doing our share back home to support our warfighters on the front lines.
Yeah, that's some great news there as well. When we look at this, and I'm going to take another just real quick break here, but when we come back, when we look at, it seems like we constantly get these attacks on our Second Amendment rights, and that concerns Montanans, of course, a great deal, because hunting and trapping and all that in our state it's a way of life. It's not just something we decided to do one day. This has been a way of life. It's how our great state was really settled. So if you could maybe talk a bit about, what that means to you guys as far as protecting our Second Amendment and that sort of thing, when we come back right after this. I want to talk a bit about a very special company located in western Montana, Superior Hardwoods of Montana. They were established in 1977, and since that time, guiding customers through the woods has been their passion throughout their history. The main focus at Superior Hardwoods of Montana has been to provide the finest wide plank flooring and unique building materials available anywhere. One of the things I noticed right away about the owner of Superior Hardwoods of Montana, John Medliger, and his son Corey, and the rest of the staff there is they're very proud to offer the largest selection of in-stock flooring in the western United States. See, for over 40 years, they've been known for leading the industry in reclaimed and antique building materials, and the success that followed has allowed them to, now get this, stock over 11 acres of stunning architectural lumber that awaits the perfect addition to your home. One thing I want you to remember is just because they're located in Missoula, Montana, that does not mean they can't help you turn your home into a piece of historical art if you live somewhere else. They have been guiding folks from as far away as Hawaii and beyond through the woods for many years. So no matter if your project is located across the street from them, across the state, or somewhere else in the world, they can't wait to turn your house into a dream home. Their goal is simple. They stand ready to deliver the best choices with reliability and honesty, helping at any phase of a project with inspirational advice. And I'm not exaggerating when I say they actually treat their customers as friends and family. So the choice is yours. But if I were you, I would go to superior-hardwoods.com. superior-hardwoods.com. Of course, you're more than welcome to call them, 406-235-7452, or, they'd love you to visit 5120 Highway 93, just south of Missoula, Montana. They can't wait to guide you through the woods at Superior Hardwoods of Montana. Go see them. You're going to love what they do to your home. And we are back here on the Montana Outdoor Podcast talking to the folks with Brixtel Defense and talking a bit about what's going on there in Glendive and the expansion they're doing. When we took our break, I asked about the Second Amendment rights and something that, we cherish a great deal here in the state of Montana. I don't know which one of you might want to jump in there first, but let's talk a bit about that as far as, being in the defense side. I think you guys are a little more secured in that because, our defense department's always going to need bullets. But talk a bit about what the Second Amendment means to your company and if you're going to kind of help and stand behind us in protecting our Second Amendment.
I'll go first, and then Jim and Andy can fill in.
Sure.
The Second Amendment is part of our Constitution.
Right.
We will stand and defend the Second Amendment. And that's what we're doing to support our war fighters, whether it's commercial base, our police departments. The Second Amendment is part of the Constitution, and we will defend it. And we will stand behind it and help defend it at all costs.
That's great news too.
I agree with what Jimmy said. I agree with stand behind what Jimmy says, and of course, it's the Montana lifestyle is mine. I mean, I grew up hunting, fishing, trapping, and I do have a college education, and that's how I paid for most of my education through trapping and actually selling furs. To get that education paid for. Of course, and I support pretty much every conservation group that's out there, which some of them are based out of Montana.
Yep.
Also, I spent 4 years of my life on active duty.
Thank you for your
Second
service.
Amendment, and thank you, sir. But that's just that's part of all of our lives from this side, and and being involved and standing up, protecting it is something I'm a very strong advocate of. So that's where I stand.
Okay.
Andy, do you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I think again, Second Amendment. It's it's part of our Constitution, and it's part of what the country kind of believes in. And the founding fathers valued the arming of individuals as a means of ensuring freedom and safety. And I think this principle, continues to be the cornerstone of American values. So, with that, it's the debate can go either way. But I know, this is controversial. What I might say is, guns don't kill people,
right?
And we just have to kind of stand behind that, and it's a good sport if it's taken as a sport, whether it's hunting or just target practicing and stuff, and and also a way of defending ourselves. So, I'll kind of stop right there.
Yeah.
before I go too much into it.
Well, no, that's fantastic, and it certainly fits with the lifestyles of most Montanans, in that we really do believe deeply in it because it is so much part of our life, and the fact that it's really a huge part of our economy. I mean, Montana, the outdoor side of our economy, which is the main reason why I had Governor Gianforte on, as we were talking a bit about, what the future of the outdoor economy for Montana is, since it's so huge. In fact, there's only one other state in the United States that has a bigger portion of their GDP related to the outdoors, and that's the state of Hawaii. Other than that, Montana is the largest, and so it's very important to our livelihoods too. So that's very important to us. Let's talk. Get into really about our great state. I know that you guys have all been able to spend a lot of time here in Montana, and that you're trying to work on this expansion and meeting with people and getting all that going. Let's start with you, Andy, and then we'll go to Jimmy and Jim. What has been the favorite part about Montana to you so far since you've decided to work in this state?
People. Montana has a lot to offer, and I'm not kind of downplaying any of that. It's got a lot to offer and stuff like that. But at a human level, at the end of the day, it's people connect with people, and the people have been so welcoming, and they've been, and it's people, they're going out of their way to help us succeed, and that just gives me more inspiration to be successful and to make Montana successful. And I've been the biggest ambassador for Montana when I come back to Virginia and DC Metro of talking about the great experiences of to other business colleagues of mine, to saying, hey, how well people have been receptive to us, how much of support we've received from everybody. It just that cannot be replicated. So that in itself goes a long way, and I know Jimmy and Jim have different perspective, and I'll let them share theirs.
Yeah, Jimmy Slaughter, what about you? What's been your favorite part of Montana so far?
People.
Yeah.
All the way from the governor's office, the governor himself, everything that the governor has told us and talked to us about and met with us about, they stood behind what they wanted us to do, how we were coming, and supporting us. And it's the same way all the way down into the town of Glendive. I've been in and out of stores there, and you walk in, you've got your shirt on. Hey, you're the guys that are coming bringing you jobs. Hey, anything we can do to support you. It's the people that are trying to, they want to improve their life. They want to improve the life in Montana. They know that we're offering those opportunities, and in return, they're talking to us. They're asking questions. They're coming. I mean, a 2-hour job seminar and pick up 65 resumes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's the people that.
Jim McCoy, what about you?
Well, I have to agree with Andy and Jimmy. I mean, it's the people, and even going, I think I probably spent more time in the state than Andy or Jimmy just over the years, because I've been hunting and fishing out there for over the last 20 years. But it doesn't make any difference where you go. People always respect you. Friendly, then the support that they've shown Brixtel definitely has been outstanding, and just the attitude of everybody in Montana that I've ever come into contact with over all the years. And of course, obviously the outdoor world there is second to none, which is something I truly love.
Well, I agree. One of the things that I know, and I can probably speak to all the parents out there and grandparents out there. I'm getting a little long in the tooth. All my kids have grown, but one of the things that really has been a difficult thing, in that Montana has probably one of the most precious exports around in that, and that's our kids, in that we haven't had enough of these really good, solid manufacturing jobs and other jobs in Montana. And so unfortunately, we see a lot of our kids have to move away to pursue their dreams and find that. And so when more companies like yours move in, we get to keep that precious resource. And, for selfish reasons, guys like me, I want to keep seeing my grandkids and all that. And so that's a really important thing to all of us, is that we don't want to export all that to other states. We want to, we've been so fortunate in that we have a great education system here. We have great values here, and we'd like to, utilize that to keep, building our great state and doing things. So these are important things that you guys bring. I don't know if that was one of the things you may have noticed, but it certainly is an important thing to all of us that live here.
No, that is actually true. And Dale, I want to add something here. And I get asked this question a lot as, hey, what kind of corporate incentives did Montana throw in, to attract Brixtel to come into the state? And I'll tell you the same answer the government tells everybody: none.
None. Wow.
So the question for us that comes in is, what can, for me as a person comes in, is what do I bring to the table first? I don't need the incentives. I want to add value first. I want to add value, and that's where, instead of being on the receiving end, we want to be on that. Hey, we want to be able to create those opportunities. We want to be able to create the ability for those Montanans to come back. And this morning we had a very good interview with a Marine that wants to come back and move back to Dawson County, to Glendive. And so it's about creating those opportunities, to being able to say, hey, you know what? We're going to create those opportunities here. So we want to bring those people back into Montana and stuff. So, at some point I might want to have a ranch out there. So,
yeah.
Yeah. But, I'll leave it up. I know Jim might add to it.
Sure. Go ahead, guys.
Well, from my standpoint, I love the country. I grew up in the country. I grew up on a farm. We raised cattle, hogs, sheep, chickens. We were kind of selfish growing up, because I'm like you. I'm getting a bit long in the tooth. I do love my grandchildren to death, and I'm so happy to be here close to them. But the area is just as good too. The land, the resources that are there, the wildlife. I haven't visited as much as the others have, but I'm really looking forward to seeing a spring there in Montana. I can't really wait. We're right there at the Yellowstone River, and I'm an avid fisherman and a hunter like Jim is.
Jim, what about you? As far as that comment I made, as far as keeping our precious resources here in Montana.
Well, and being able to, help establish a company that will help do that, because it's actually not so much on a state level. Of course, all three of us live in Virginia, but I live very rural too, and there's three surrounding counties that kind of go through the same thing the state of Montana does. Most all of our, the kids that grow up, usually they don't have to leave the state, but they go to Northern Virginia or, to the Eastern Virginia. They're still 4 or 5 hours away from where, they grew up. But there's nothing that's been developed. So being able to create that and to help the state of Montana, keep their homegrown, that's just going to be, that'll be great. It really will. So,
well,
I understand, what some of the parents and grandparents, go through. Of course, I'm like the rest to get along in too. I got 4 grandkids myself. I'm fortunate. They all live close by, but that's because they're I had 2 daughters, but their husbands, are into farming and agriculture, so they didn't have to move. So
yeah,
I was thankful for that.
Well, it's a good thing, and we're really excited to have you here in the great state of Montana, and hopefully, you guys can come back on the Montana Outdoor Podcast and update us as things go along, and we for sure will let folks know on our live radio show that we do every Saturday morning all across the state, and let folks know that Brixtel is open for business and growing, and hopefully we'll send you some good folks over to help be part of that growth. Any closing thoughts or anything else that you guys want to point out that I might have missed before we go? Andy, is there anything else you wanted me to get across here?
No, I think I appreciate the opportunity, and we're very thankful to everybody in the state of Montana, from top, the governor's office, all the way down the Department of Commerce. When they say they give you the red carpet, white glove treatment, Jamie Sheeran from the Department of Commerce has done absolutely a wonderful job of attracting us, and he deserves a lot of credit. And we're very appreciative of everything that the state is providing us in terms of just an opportunity to be there.
Well, that's great. Well, we'll be in touch, and don't be strangers on the podcast here. We'd love to have you again, and we will certainly be in touch with what you guys are doing. And again, for those of you listening to the podcast, go back to that podcast description. You'll see down there at the bottom, you'll see a bunch of those links. Those links will help you a lot as far as being able to get in touch with these folks. And, if you're interested in working there, or if you just want more information, that'll be a great place for you to start and learn more. And then we'll keep you posted on how all this continues to grow as we move forward. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on the Montana Outdoor Podcast. And thanks all of you listening. And for those of you overseas serving our country, as we always like to close with, thank you so much for your service. And we hope to see you home soon here on the Montana Outdoor Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Montana Outdoor Podcast. It has been brought to you in part by Superior Hardwoods of Montana, home of the largest selection of in-stock high-end wood products and flooring in the western United States. Let them guide you through the woods at superior-hardwoods.com. And by Rocky Mountain Truck and Trailer in Missoula, home of Boss Snowplows, CM Truck Beds, and Diamond Sea Trailers. Just go to rmtte.com for more information. So what did you think of today's podcast? Send your questions and comments to Downrigger at montanooutdoor.com. We should be dropping a new podcast this next Saturday. Until then, we will see you soon out in Montana's great outdoors